Hello, Christian here. Happy Friday. And I wanted to talk to you about something I actually had a conversation with one of my clients. And that's really simple. You need to kill your first business so it will let go and create a new one. Your first business is rarely your best business. In fact, sometimes the most successful thing you can do is kill it. Again, my name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show, and that's what I want to unpack with you today. Because the story or the conversation I had with a client this week reminded me of my very first restaurant. We had an amazing place, wrong location. There was not the kind of clientele that we wanted to serve. The food was great, but the staff was not ready for that. I always tell the story that the lights were on, but no customers. And deep down, I knew it was over. And I found that we have these conversations a lot with clients because clients make excuses. I call it the founder's excuses. And it's hard to let go. And a lot of clients talking about it's just a bad season. Now, hey, it was last quarter. This quarter will be different. And I can't let go because I put already too much into it. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today because I want today's episode to act like a release valve. I want this to be your permission to, you have to stop climbing and that proof that that can be the beginning of something absolutely amazing. And as with my client, I was the same way. We had those myths going on, and we call the first one the emotional attachment, because your first business feels like your first love. You excuse red flags before you even honestly say, "Hey, I see it now in hindsight," because you were too much invested. Or the next one we call the sunk cost trap. And there's a lot of people in that because they're saying, I spent 5 years in this. I can't quit now. It's a waste. Reality is time already you spend is already gone. What matters is the next 5 years, and you can build a much better business in the next 5 years. We also have the next one we like to call survivorship bias. We glorify the grind. Hey, you grind to work hard. And you hear a lot of stories out there, but you forget that every one founder who has turned a business around are quietly walking away because they found something a lot more successful as well. It's like chefs. You keep a bad dish on the menu because your grandmother wrote it. It's a recipe from your grandma, but nobody's buying it. And you know what? Love doesn't pay the bills. And there's a little truth bomb here. Your first idea is just like training wheels. It's not the Tour de France. And I absolutely been there. And let me tell you why killing your first business, if it doesn't work, creates growth, because it creates that space. And I call it new energy because it's almost like thinking like clearing out all the clutter, all the stuff you have in a pantry. And so all of a sudden you see that ingredients that actually inspire you, and they inspire you to create a new dish. And then there's also the focus shift. Instead of dragging that bad business on, you can channel it to dive into something that actually works and something which actually moves you. You can carry forward those skills. You know, customers, hiring, marketing, and all of that can be a failure, but it's not waste. You are much sharper on round two. And from an identity shift level, You stop being the founder of XYZ and you have become a seasoned entrepreneur with scars, with wisdom, with perspective. And for me, killing my first restaurant allowed me to open up my second one, and we had six of them and we sold them, and that became our structure of what we're creating now with our consulting business, our writing business, our high ticket programs. All of that or none of that would exist if we wouldn't had killed that first business, if we had kept dragging it on. You guys know the whole analogy of the vineyard. You need to prune it in fall. And when you prune it and you see it, it feels like a loss. But it's the only way the new vines grow even stronger next year, and you can have really amazing fruit. So let me ask you a question, because that framework we developed after we closed the first restaurant and then see so many people struggling with is three simple questions. And the three simple questions are: what does your business still serve? Does it still serve the life I really want? You need to ask yourself, is this business a tool for my life? Or has my life become a tool for my business? I've been there. I missed family dinners. I missed special events. And the business owned me and it owned my calendar. The second question is really simple. Am I keeping it alive for pride, or am I keeping it alive for purpose? And with pride, it's really simple, providing, or talking to friends. Hey, I can't let go because what are my friends? What are my family? What are my investors going to say if they know I was wrong? And purpose, serving a mission, solving a problem that still excites you. If it's just pride, that's really ego tax, not growth. And the final question of the three questions we ask is, if I had to start from zero tomorrow, would I rebuild the exact business? I need to laugh because a lot of you guys know that your gut says no. And if your gut says no, you already have the answer. And that answer is that mirror that can't be dodged. I've been there. I suffered through that. I sat there and that one question really changed everything. And now I want to have a little call to action for you. Do you normalize the fear? Shutting down doesn't make you a failure. It makes you stronger. It makes you free. Share not just the final thing you want to do, is because the day I killed my first business, I didn't lose. I traded something that was slowly dying anyway, and it gave me the chance to build something amazing. And that something was totally different. I talk a lot to different clients. If you start a business today, it doesn't mean you need to carry it on. Evolve. Your clients change, your guests change, your staff changes, you change. How can that change effect on or show you what that business needs to become? And for me, a good example is we started our book writing business because every time I spoke to people and I realized, oh my God, if they would write a book, they would have the beginning of something totally new. And we talk a lot about this to our clients. Because for me, honestly, the day I killed my first business, I didn't lose because I traded something I know wasn't good for me for something which totally changes my life. So now my question to you is, what do you need to let go in order for your next version they have new breath. Let me ask you again. What do you need to let die in order for the next version of you to breathe? This is the kind of clarity you need before you even writing a book, or before you start a new business, or before you start a bigger business. Exactly, that's what we talk to our clients all the time. That's what we talk to our book clients all the time. Because the person you become writing the book is totally different than the person you were beforehand. And it's the same thing with your business. If you need to let go of the first business, the second business will succeed. I know that because you take all the learnings with you. And that's what this episode is about. And I know, you know, when you need to let go of something. Shutting down does not make you a failure. It honestly makes you free. And that's what this podcast is all about. We call it a Disruptive Chef because we want to disrupt your thinking. We want to disrupt the way you look at everyday life, the way you look at your business. Your business is to serve you and not the other way around. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. And that's what we spoke to our client about. And it's tough to walk away from your first business. I've been there. It was really, really hard. And it was more ego than anything else. And evolving, that's exactly what we're doing now. We evolve, we look and hear our clients. What do they need? How can we support them? And how can we serve them even better? And the business we have today is much better because of it. And that's exactly what we want for you. So with that, please write on the notes below, what was a wake-up call for you on that day's conversation? What is it something you need to let go? What do you need to let die? Also share this episode with a friend or somebody you know who needs to hear this. And then right below, what is it the new thing you want to create? What are you called to do? What do you want to do on round 2? We want to hear about it. With that, I want to say thanks for being here on this beautiful Friday. And we see you guys next Friday. Thanks, everybody.